Hey, happy Thursday. It is job week here, so get ready. On top of this, we have the Fed getting even more grim in their kind of tone here lately. And question of the week this week is all about 2022 retirement and HSA contribution limits. My name is Brandon Steele, financial advisor with Mainsail Financial Group here in Bellevue. And our goal every Thursday is to bring to you the market news, some of the trends, some of the things that we're watching, and hopefully weed out a little bit of the noise along the way. We're back on schedule this week. We got a full week in the markets after Thanksgiving. So hopefully everyone enjoyed some time with family and we're able to get some good foods in them over the holiday. Again, we've got a full week, so we'll go ahead and get right into it. Last week on Thursday, of course, the market was closed because of Thanksgiving, but we came back on Friday with a bang. Markets were down near, I think, 1,000 points at the lows, and all of this due to the Omicron variant. Having a hard time with that one, but that was the big word at that time, and so we saw a big drop on Friday last week, bounced back quite a bit on Monday this week, dropped again Tuesday, bounced back a little bit here Wednesday. So it has been quite the ride here, and I expect that we may see a little more choppiness in the coming weeks, especially as we kind of get closer to the end of the year as well. You'll start to see some profit taking. A lot of tax planning going on at this point as well. So pay attention to the markets here as we kind of move through the end of the year, especially. All right, as far as data goes, so again, on Tuesday, we had pending home sales come out up about 7.5%. So it's very interesting to see, even with rising mortgage rates, that this was such a large number. We also saw consumer confidence down slightly. And I guess my question, for those who aren't super familiar with this data point, think about it this way: as consumers lose confidence, what do you think some of the side effects might be to the market, right? And it's exactly what you may be thinking. As confidence decreases, we start to see more selling and more fear when some of this bad news rolls through, like we've seen, late last week, early this week. You also see a lot less buying. So when we have these dips, you may not have a lot of new investors or people with cash on the sidelines may not have the confidence to be buying in on those dips. And so we tend to see those maybe continue or not pick right back up like we've seen time and time again through the course of this year, 2021. So that's very important to watch. We also had the Fed testify on Tuesday. And man, that tone from Fed Chair Powell was like 180 degrees different from what he's been talking about in the past. I think he even mentioned at some point that they may want to retire the word transitory in regards to inflation. So, for the guy who, you could play like a drinking game every time he said the word transitory for the past year or so, all of a sudden that word is no longer maybe in the repertoire. So it will be interesting to see what comes in the coming weeks, months, as he speaks, to see if that word just kind of slips out of the vocabulary completely. Wednesday, we had ADP employment numbers come out. 534,000 was the number versus 506,000 estimated and 570,000 last month. So for those who remember last month, this was a great sign for non-farm payrolls on Friday. Hopefully this number at 534,000 is another great sign for non-farm payrolls to come again this Friday as well. So pay attention to that. I will comment on Friday just below with the number as it comes out as well, so you can stay updated. But next week, we're going to spend a lot of time on the non-farm payrolls and unemployment numbers, which all come out again this Friday. With that, we'll switch over to the question of the week. And as always, if you guys have anything on your mind, please do reach out. You can comment below or send me a message, and I would be more than happy to help answer your question or comment of the week. In fact, if we end up using yours, I'll send a copy on me as well for coming up with a good question. This week, we wanted to focus on 2022 contribution limits. The IRS came out with the new limits, and so we wanted to just kind of break this down real quick so that as you're gearing up for your end of year, but also 2022 planning, you have an idea of what some of these changes may mean and what you may need to adjust going into the new year. First one I want to touch on is 401k contributions. So for those who are familiar, in 2021, the contribution limit was $19,500. That has increased a full $1,000. So in 2022, that has increased to $20,500. Now, what this means for those 50 and older is that you get a total in 2022 of $27,000 you can contribute annually, right? You get that extra catch-up contribution as well. IRA contributions, so not employer plans, but your individual retirement accounts, those have still not changed. The last 2 years have not changed. So just like in 2021, in 2022, the contribution limit is $6,000 flat. And again, for those 50 or older, you also get a catch-up contribution, which is a flat $1,000, so $7,000 in total. And the other one I wanted to touch on, HSAs are becoming more and more popular and useful from a tax planning perspective. So we want to touch a little bit on HSA contributions, which also have increased this year. The family contribution limit has increased by $100 to a total of $7,300 for the year for 2022. And individual HSA contributions have increased by $50 again to a total of $3,650 total annual contributions for 2022. Hopefully that's helpful. Again, I want to touch on the 401ks, the IRAs, and the HSA contributions because those are the three most common. But for those who are familiar, SEP simple contributions have changed a little bit as well. And so has your total retirement contribution limit. So if you have any questions on that, let us know. I'd be happy to share those with you as well. Thanks as always for joining us. Hope you have a great day, and we will see you next Thursday at 3.